Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. If you're over 60 and you find yourself constantly waking up tired, even after spending a solid 7 or 8 hours in bed, I need you to hear this loud and clear before you just brush it off and blame your age. Getting older does not automatically mean you have to resign yourself to a life of exhaustion. No way. Today, we're going to unpack exactly why that is, and I promise you, by the end of our time together, you're going to look at your evening routine in a completely new light. So let's jump right in.
I hear this lament all the time. Doctor, I used to sleep like a baby. Now, I wake up at 3 in the morning almost every night. Man, I know exactly how frustrating it is to be lying there wide awake in the dark while the rest of the world is completely knocked out. It's an incredibly common feeling. But if this sounds like you, please don't panic. The real question we need to ask isn't just if you wake up, but what's actually causing it to happen and what happens next.
And that brings us to a massive myth we need to bust right now. People often think poor sleep is just an unavoidable tax you pay for getting older. But the reality? You don't suddenly need dramatically less sleep just because you've got a few more candles on your birthday cake. Your body still desperately needs about 7 to 9 hours of restorative rest. What usually changes with age isn't the actual need for sleep, it's the pattern of it. Your sleep can become a bit lighter, meaning ordinary everyday habits can suddenly make it much harder to stay asleep.
All right, let's look at Section 1, the 7 common sleep mistakes.
Sometimes the real sleep thief isn't what you're doing at noon. It's what you're doing right before you close your eyes. These habits are so ordinary, so baked into our daily routines, you probably don't even realize they're sabotaging your rest. Take habit number 1, using your phone or watching stimulating TV in bed. Now you might say, but I've watched television in bed for decades, it helps me relax. But honestly, the problem isn't just having a screen in the room, it's about what you're watching. If you're glued to the evening news, reading stressful messages, or doom-scrolling social media right before lights out, your brain is on high alert. Plus, that bright blue light from your screen literally tricks your brain into suppressing its ability to actually feel sleepy.
So what's the fix? It's simple. Create a screen-free buffer. You don't have to toss your TV out the window, I promise. Just try unplugging about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Swap the screen time for something a lot quieter. Read a physical book. Put on some relaxing music, or maybe do some gentle stretching if that feels comfortable for you. You're not just kicking a bad habit here, you're actively training your brain night after night that it's finally safe to power down.
Moving on to habit number 2. Are you having caffeine too late in the day? Now, you might be one of those folks who proudly tells me, I can drink a cup of coffee after dinner and fall asleep perfectly fine. Okay. Fair enough. But falling asleep quickly is only half the battle. Caffeine is incredibly sneaky. It hides in tea, chocolate, some sodas, and even certain medications, and it can completely wreck your sleep architecture. You might crash easily, but then you're tossing and turning, waking up repeatedly, and waking up feeling totally drained. When it comes to caffeine, timing is absolutely everything.
Habit number 3, eating a massive meal close to bedtime. Imagine eating a huge steak dinner at 9 p.m., hitting the pillow at 10, and then wondering why you just can't get comfortable. If you're dealing with heartburn, indigestion, or bloating the second you lie down, your digestive system is basically working a night shift. It's way too busy digesting to let you properly rest. Try your best to wrap up those larger meals a good 2 to 3 hours before bedtime so your body actually has a chance to settle.
All right, habit number 4. Drinking way too much liquid right before bed. Let's be real. As we get older, our bladders tend to develop a mind of their own at night. Now, you absolutely should not dehydrate yourself just to sleep through the night. Staying hydrated is crucial. But if you're chugging 2 huge glasses of water right at 10 p.m., you're pretty much guaranteeing a frustrating, totally avoidable midnight bathroom trip. Just try front-loading your water intake to earlier in the afternoon and early evening.
Let's shift gears to Section 2, the sleep drive battery.
This is such a great way to understand our 5th habit. I want you to think of your natural biological need for sleep like a battery. In the morning, that sleep pressure is super low. But as the day goes on, your need for sleep builds and builds, hitting a peak in the late afternoon. Here's the catch though. If you take a long nap at, say, 5 p.m., you completely drain that built-up sleep pressure. It's like plugging your phone in for just an hour. Now it's 11 p.m., you're lying in bed wide awake and totally frustrated. Naps aren't the enemy, but a long or late afternoon nap steals the exact sleep pressure you desperately need to sleep through the night.
And man, that frustration leads right into habit number 6, trying to force yourself to sleep. You know the drill. You're lying there staring at the clock, doing mental math, agonizing over exactly how many hours are left before your alarm goes off. When you do that, your bedroom just becomes a stress zone. If you are clock watching, you are literally punishing yourself. We have to flip the script here. Stop telling yourself, I need to force myself to sleep, and start thinking, I am just giving my body a chance to rest and prepare. If sleep isn't happening, just get out of bed, go do something quiet in another room, and only come back when your eyelids are actually getting heavy. Finally, habit number 7. Do you have a consistent wake-up time? Honestly, this is probably the most overlooked habit in the entire book. We are always obsessing over what time should I go to bed, but we rarely ask, what time am I getting up? Your body's internal timing system absolutely thrives on rhythm. A consistent morning routine acts like an anchor for your whole day. You don't have to live your life with a stopwatch, but waking up at roughly the same time every morning tells your body exactly when to start the engine, which naturally helps it know when to hit the brakes later that night.
Now, let's look at Section 3, when to seek medical help and bedroom safety.
Look, tweaking your daily habits is incredibly powerful, but we have to acknowledge that they aren't the whole story. You need to keep an eye out for these medical red flags. If you're snoring really loudly, if you ever wake up gasping for air, if you have severe daytime exhaustion, or if persistent pain keeps waking you up, please do not just shrug and blame your age. These are serious, persistent symptoms. They could point to things like sleep apnea or even side effects from your medications. You could literally have perfect sleep hygiene and still struggle because of an underlying medical condition. You deserve to know what's going on, so definitely bring these specific flags up with your healthcare professional.
And we really cannot ignore your physical environment. This is especially critical because navigating a dark room in the middle of the night carries a real physical risk. A better sleep environment literally has to be a safer sleep environment. You want a completely clear, obstacle-free path to your bathroom. Use good low-level lighting. Get rid of those loose throw rugs. They are massive fall hazards waiting to happen in the dark. And watch out for the family dog sleeping in the hallway, too. Keep the room at a nice, comfortable, slightly cool temperature. Taking these simple, practical steps removes so much of the anxiety around having to get up at 2 a.m.
All right, bringing it all home with Section 4, your new sleep action plan.
So how do we actually put all this together without feeling totally overwhelmed? Well, I am explicitly instructing you right now. Do not go and try to change everything tonight. If you cut out your coffee, ban the TV, move your dinner time, and start a heavy stretching routine all on the same day, you're going to be completely miserable. Plus, you won't even know which change actually helped. Instead, we're doing the one small change experiment. Pick just one single habit we talked about today, try it out consistently for a few days, observe how you feel, and then adjust. We are keeping the stakes incredibly low here. To give you an idea, here is a super simple, stress-free example of what a tweaked evening could look like. Let's say you finish a nice, moderate dinner around 6 p.m., giving your stomach plenty of time to settle. By 8 p.m., you kick off your screen-free time. Turn off the news, put the tablet away. Then, around 9 p.m., you roll into a calm, predictable bedtime routine that signals to your brain that the day is officially done. It's not a rigid prison sentence, guys. It's just a smooth, gentle on-ramp to a good night's sleep.
If you're not sure which habit you should tackle first, I highly recommend keeping a simple 7-day sleep diary. And no, you do not need a fancy smartwatch or any complicated gadgets for this. A cheap notepad right on your nightstand is perfect. Just jot down when you got into bed, roughly when you drifted off, any times you woke up, your naps, and if you had any late caffeine or alcohol. Give it a week, and I guarantee you'll be absolutely amazed by the hidden patterns you discover about your own unique body. As you start tracking this and looking at your diary, I want you to remember one absolutely crucial truth. Better sleep requires consistency, not perfection. It is completely natural for our sleep cycles to ebb and flow, and waking up briefly is totally normal. Please don't obsess over getting a flawless, uninterrupted 8 hours where you don't move a single muscle. That's just not realistic. The ultimate goal here is simply feeling alert, refreshed, and ready to actually function and enjoy your life during the day. Which brings us to the empowering core thesis of our time together today. Don't blame your age for a sleep problem that may have another explanation. You have so much agency here. Whether it's swapping that afternoon coffee for decaf, leaving your phone in the kitchen, or having a candid conversation with your doctor about sleep apnea, you do not have to accept chronic exhaustion as a mandatory toll for getting older. So I'm going to leave you with one final provocative question to chew on. Which one habit are you going to change tonight? Are you going to turn the television off 30 minutes earlier? Maybe shift your water drinking to the afternoon? Pick one small thing today, experiment with your routine tonight, and start taking back control of your rest. You've totally got this. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, sleep well.